Hi, Per Lilly here from Pro Business Coaching. Normally I would use this platform to share my clients' cases, but this time I will make an exception and share my own case study with you. So if you are a business owner that is thinking big and a business owner that wants to significantly grow your business, then this case study is for you. So it's time now to listen up. My case study is about how I grew our Australian operation from $10 million to $20 million over a short period of 5 years. It was a strategy called Close the Gap Strategy. To set the stage, I was responsible for a division of a major industrial corporation here in Australia, and during our annual review meeting, I was challenged by the major shareholder with a simple question. How can we double our turnover from the present $10 million to $20 million over the next 4 to 5 years? After my heart skipped a beat or two, I recorded and presented the growth option that we had for closing the gap of $10 million. We could sell more of our existing products and services to the existing market, and with an annual growth rate of a couple of percent, that would mean take substantial market share from our competitors. Another option was to sell our existing product and services to a new market, probably a bit difficult to identify a whole new market, just waiting for you to enter. So after a very interesting ping-pong session with senior management, I was sent away with a brief to develop the Close the Gap strategy to add an additional $10 million to our business in 5 years and to report back to the board with my proposal within 3 months. So to kickstart the development of the Close the Gap strategy, I took my management team offsite for a week to trash up the option that we had for meeting that objective. After many whiteboard discussions and late nights, we concluded that the best option was really to add a complementary product portfolio to our product portfolio so that we will have some synergy with our existing market. So that was the good news. The bad news was that our preferred complementary product was already represented in Australia by 2 independent distributors. And even worse news was the fact that initial discussion with the principal manufacturer of the complementary products did not open up for an option for a third distributor due to competitive concerns. So the only option we had to get access to the complementary product was to consider an acquisition of one of the distributors, and that was the reason why an acquisition proposal was kind of the core, or became the core, of the Close the Gap strategy. Using some preliminary turnover numbers from the preferred distributor, we built a case that actually added up to a little bit over $20 million, so an additional $10 million. And it consisting of our own turnover, the turnover of the acquired distributor, the turnover we expected to get out of synergies from our customer using the complementary product, and the acquired business using our products. And then of course the market growth over 5 years. So the Closing the Gap strategy was presented to the board and approved, and after an extended negotiation phase, we finally succeeded in acquiring the distributor, and the real challenges began. And the big challenges were, of course, to consolidate the organization and also consolidate the number of physical operations. So our first, and in hindsight probably the major challenge, was the human resource challenge of integration of the 2 organizations. And somebody actually described this process as an attempt between David and Goliath to do a friendly tango. That was one of the things that kept me awake at 4 o'clock in the morning, because we had to reduce the overall staff numbers and at the same time ensure we had the right people on the bus, so to speak, for the future growth. So to compensate the emotional stress for people we had to let go, I negotiated with my management a generous redundancy package and support package. Next challenge was the consolidation of location, because to get the synergy effect, we had to move people together to share experiences and learn from best practices. We decided to consolidate the new organization into our existing operation, and that meant, of course, that we had surplus locations, so to speak. We got rid of these 2 by kind of negotiation to pay out the leases. The full integration of the acquired business took almost 2 years. So was the Close the Gap strategy successful? Yes, our new team succeeded in closing the gap and grew our business to just over $20 million in little less than 5 years. And although there always will be some collateral damages and pain in such a big project of acquiring and integrating a business, it was a great satisfaction for the whole team when we hit the $20 million mark. So if you're interested in developing your own Closing the Gap strategy, then I would recommend that you download the chapter, The Growth Gap, from my published book, Remove Blocks and Build Your Business, a guidebook for your next growth journey. Just use the link provided. In closing, I wish you best of luck in closing your gap. Cheers!